In the desert, I saw a creature, naked, bestial, who squatting upon the ground held his heart in his hands and ate of it. I said, "Is it good, friend?" "It is bitter, bitter," he answered, "but I like it because it is bitter, and because it is my heart." Stephen Crane. I hadn't seen my father for 10 years. I had no photographs of him at all, and just a vague memory of his face the last time I saw him. When we pulled up to the VA housing complex in Sarasota in our rented van, Duncan saw him first. "There he is." He tipped his head to point. I turned my eyes slowly to follow his gaze, almost not wanting to look. A man was standing under the awning of the complex. It was him. I saw his dark skin, his head nearly bald, distinctively square, with a barely visible neck. He was just as I remembered, but bigger, maybe 40 pounds heavier than the last time. He was wearing shorts and a striped jersey, the shirt taut over his belly. I stared at him, suddenly frozen. What do I do? I thought. How do I play this scene? Loving daughter greeting long-lost father? Kind daughter bringing her children to meet their grandfather for the first time? Angry daughter wanting just a few words from her silent father? The van stopped. I got out slowly, carrying my youngest, and opened the side doors for the others. The rest of the kids piled out. 5 more, one after another, like some silly cartoon scene with an unending stream of people erupting from a tiny car. My father stood there, looking past the kids, seeming not to see them, as if they were inconsequential to his life, which they were. When the last one jumped out, suddenly I was on. I knew what to do. I put my toddler down and came and smiled, then hugged the strange man, patting him on the back with my fingers, keeping our bodies separate. "Hi, how are you?" he asked in his Massachusetts accent. He smiled a little, showing his few remaining teeth, all broken. "Good. We had a little trouble finding this place," I said with false brightness. It had taken us 2 days to get there. We had flown in from Kodiak, Alaska, from the far northwest corner of the country to the far southeast corner, from squalls and stormy ocean to palm trees and traffic. It was March 2006, our spring break. Through some impetus I don't remember now, I had decided we needed to go to Florida. We would do the usual vacation things, but mostly this was a trip to see my father. He was 84, so I knew this would be my children's only chance to meet him. I had never talked about him to my kids. They didn't know anything about him, and they never asked. He knew nothing about them. But over my then 28 years of marriage and 16 years of parenting, I had learned from my husband and from my children what fathers might be for, so I wanted them to know who my father was, for themselves. Someday they would care. I had warned the 4 older kids, ages 9 to 16, that he probably would not talk to them or even ask their names or ages. They shrugged, accepted this as routine. I worried most about the 2 youngest, 1.5 and 3, who thought all grandfathers were like their grandpa back home, an old man who wanted you to sit on his knee, who played hide-and-seek with you, and who asked you questions and gave you hugs. So I didn't tell them that the man in front of them was their grandfather. I just told them this man was my father. Even that felt like a deception. We decided finally on a trip to the beach and loaded into the van, 9 of us now, and drove to Sarasota Beach on his suggestion. I had no idea what to do on this visit, and felt saved by this beach. It was blindingly white, as deep as it was wide, bodies massed on sand and in water. I walked slowly with my father out onto the sand. He walked like the old man he now was. I did not give him my arm. Duncan and the kids ran ahead into the water while I scoped out a stamp of ground for our blanket. Finding one, I spread the blanket and plopped down. "Can you sit?" I asked, looking up at my aged father as he stood above me. "No, my hips are bad," he said matter-of-factly. He couldn't lower himself onto the sand. I had no idea what to do,